Today, we're going to talk about a proven, aggressive blueprint to making $1 million a year as a real estate agent. Raise your hand if you think you could do this. Every single one of you can. Here's the requirements to make it happen. Number one. All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. As you're listening to this, because I know with 60 agents that are on the call right now, we have all different levels of production, including agents who are brand new. And you're like, John, you want to talk to me about making $1 million? I'm just trying to get my first deal closed. Everything I'm going to share with you applies to this conversation. So pay really close attention to what we're talking about. And remember that business is just a math equation. If your goal for 2026 is not to make $1 million, no worries. It will be eventually, or it could be eventually. And maybe this call will help inspire you to set bigger goals because, again, it's just a math equation and success is simple. I have three main principles that I want to start with. Number one, non-negotiable principles. So real estate agents who set out to earn $1 million a year selling real estate, they have non-negotiable principles. Pay attention to the words. It's really important. Non-negotiable means it's non-negotiable. These are my principles and they're not negotiable. Here's the job. Here's what you need to do in order to keep the job. Set one listing appointment every day. That's it. So this is a choice, right, Joe? I don't luck into this. It's not about my skill level. It's not about my ability. It's simply about a choice. What would you do differently to keep that job that you are currently not doing? You know, one of the focus questions is, what can I do that I'm currently not doing that if I were to start doing it today, everything else would become easy or unnecessary? Or what am I currently not doing that if I started doing it today, it would move me closer to my goal? So I've got 8 things on my what would you do differently list. Number one, always show up early. What is early? Well, early depends on you. You know, my day starts at 5 a.m. and it's the morning routine. And the morning routine to me is critical to the rest of the day. If I skip, I agree, Frank, burn the boats. I love that. If I skip that morning routine, then the rest of my day is not going to work. And a lot of that is about getting in the right space mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in order to be able to serve you. And what is your morning routine? You have to protect that time. And also you need to be crystal clear on what time does your job start. If you're going to be on the phone by 8 a.m., you need to be at your desk, ready to make calls by 7:30 a.m. so that you're ready to go and you're ready to start making calls at 8 a.m., which, by the way, is number 2 on my list. Start making prospecting calls at 8 a.m. Now, all of you, and you can go to your board of realtors to look into this, but all of you have a time of day that is you're allowed to make calls without somebody reporting you and you getting in trouble and getting a fine and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not telling anybody to break those rules. Pay really close attention to what I'm saying here, okay? And I started making my prospecting calls as early as 7 a.m. in the morning. I wanted to be the first person they were talking to, especially if I was calling expired listings. I wanted to get to them before everybody else did. I'm going to tell you for the record, start making calls at 8 a.m. in the morning. Number 3, don't stop until you set one appointment. It's really simple. Start making calls at 8 a.m. Don't stop until you've scheduled one appointment. Prioritize calls. So if you are calling your database to build relationships in order to make deposits and create value so that later on you can make withdrawals. In other words, who do you know that is thinking of selling their home? Who do you know that is thinking of buying their home? Or your circle prospect in a neighborhood, or your door knocking a neighborhood around a property that just sold. Great news, a home down the street from you just sold. There are still buyers looking for great homes like yours. Who do you know that's thinking of selling their home? These are great ways to build your real estate business. But if you had to set one appointment today, what would be at the top of your priority list? It would be for selling owners and expireds. These are the people that have raised their hand and said, I want to sell my home. So I'm going to start with that group. I'm going to focus on that group until I get one appointment every single day. Number 5, use scripts that work. Scripts that work are scripts that are simple. They are scripts that understand that every word you use matters. If you call an expired listing, for an example, this is a true life example. We're in the office, we're making calls, and one of the agents that's a part of my team calls and says, Joe, I was calling about your home at 123 Banana Street. I was just calling to see if you're still interested in selling your home or are you taking a break? So I asked him, I said, what are you hearing? He says, everybody is taking a break. I said, it's because you told them to. Words matter. Just simply take that out. Are you still interested in selling your home? Don't ask them if they're thinking of taking a break, because they're going to say, yes, I'm taking a break. 6, PDR. Practice, drill, rehearse these conversations, these scripts until you've internalized them. Remember, the path to mastery starts with unconscious incompetence, which means I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know that I don't know what I don't know. It's a really dangerous place to be, right, Bob? And I talk to hundreds of real estate agents every single week. And one of the biggest challenges for me is there's a lot of people that are stuck at unconscious incompetence. In other words, they think they know everything they need to know, and they don't know anything, and they don't know it. Now, the next step is conscious incompetence, which means, okay, I don't know what I need to know. I need to learn these things in order to be successful. And the next step on the path to mastery is conscious competence. That's where you start to get it. And you're seeing success and you're getting results, but you haven't internalized it yet. You still have to think. You still have to put effort into the response versus the response being automatic. Now, the highest level of mastery, and all goes back to practice, drill, rehearse. The highest level of mastery is when you've internalized these conversations at such a high level that you immediately are just responding based on what the person is saying to you. You know the response. You've got 3 responses memorized, internalized for every single objection you're ever going to hear. And when somebody's talking to you, you can truly listen to them because you're not inside your own head thinking about what am I going to say. You know what you're going to say. That's mastery, which is unconscious competence. All right, number 7, handle objections. Be an objection collector. Carry a notebook with you. Write down every objection you've ever heard. Write down 3 responses to every single objection you've ever heard. And that way, when you're on the phone in the morning making these calls and you hear an objection, you already know the response. And number 8, master closing. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you and we're going to talk about the pathway to $1 million. All right, so here's how the numbers break down. You're working 250 days a year. That's 50 weeks times 5 days. You're taking 2 weeks off. You're going to set 250 appointments because you're going to start making calls at 8 a.m. in the morning, and you're not going to stop making calls until you've scheduled an appointment. Out of those 250 appointments that are going into your pipeline, 60% are going to list their home with you. Your closing ratio from an appointment to a listing taken is 60%. That's 170 listings taken. Now, out of the 170 listings taken, let's say 100 are going to sell. You should also get 100 qualified buyers as well. So because for every listing you take, you should get at least one buyer who is interested in buying a home, because what's the best source for buyer leads? It's seller listings. Take more seller listings, you get more buyer leads. So I got 170 buyer leads. Out of those 170 buyer leads, I closed 100 buyers. So I've sold 100 listings and I've closed 100 buyers. I'm not going to personally work with the buyers. I am going to refer all of the buyers out for a 25% referral fee. So the only thing I'm doing is I'm prospecting to schedule one appointment every day. I do that between 8 and noon because the goal is to get at least one appointment by noon so that I can go on appointments in the afternoon. So the only 2 things that I'm doing is I'm prospecting for that one listing appointment every single day, and then I'm going on listing appointments. All the buyer leads that come my way, I'm going to refer those out for a 25% referral fee. Now, if my average commission is $8,000, 100 listings sold times 8 is $800,000, and a 25% referral fee on the $800,000 from the buyer side is $200,000. I just made $1 million. Raise your hand if you think you could do this. Every single one of you can. Absolutely every single one of you can. Thank you for putting up your digital hands, everybody. All right, so here's the requirements to make it happen. Number 1, you have to have a burning desire. You have to have deep within you a desire to achieve at this level in order to achieve at this level. You have to be obsessed with the results. You have to have a work ethic. You have to work this job like a job. You can't treat it like a hobby. You can't do it when you want to. You can't do it when you feel like it. You have to have work ethic in order to do this. You have to work your schedule and you have to have a plan. Number three, do the job whether you feel like it or not. You guys heard my lead generate like a duck story, right? A duck just gets up in the morning and quacks until somebody feeds the duck. A duck got this. If I could teach a duck to sell real estate, the duck would make $1 million a year because they wouldn't stop until they got the listing appointment, just like they're not going to stop quacking until somebody feeds them. If you've never heard that story, you probably think, what the heck is John talking about right now? Just look it up on YouTube. It's there. 4, get out of your head. Stop overthinking. Get out of your head. Shannon, I really appreciate that you're smiling. Yes, I am talking to you. It's called paralysis by analysis. If you are going to choose between ready, fire, aim and ready, aim, fire, I would much rather you choose ready, fire, aim. Too many of you who are ready, aim, fire end up with ready, aim, 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 aim. Eventually, I'm going to pull the trigger here, guys. Eventually, I'm going to fire. So stop overthinking. 5, what's the purpose of the call? Everybody on this call with me knows the answer to that question. Get an appointment. That's it. That's right, Angela. Get an appointment. The purpose of a call is to get an appointment. Number 6, you only have one thing to do every day. I hear all kinds of excuses for why we're not hitting our goals. And my thought process is always, you got one thing to do. That's it. One thing to do. Lead generate, schedule an appointment. Until that's done, everything else doesn't matter. Everything else is a distraction. If you don't have any appointments that day, what else are you going to do? Just stay on the phone and keep making calls until you get an appointment. 7, don't let rejection bring you down. What's the cost of disappointment? The disappointment cost. And here's what that means. If you have a bad day because you had a bad morning lead generating, how much money did you lose because you spent the rest of the day thinking about what a lousy morning you had? How much time should it take you to get over a disappointment? Or you go on a listing appointment, you're positive you're going to get the listing and you don't get the listing, and it just puts you in a really bad headspace. As Zig Ziglar would say, you get a bad case of stinking thinking, and the next 2 or 3 days, you're not working at your highest level because you've got this stinking thinking going on. How much time should it take you to get over a disappointment? 1 quick breath. That's it. All right. Number 8, follow a schedule. Your schedule is lead generation from 8 to 12 in order to schedule 1 appointment and then go on listing appointments. And that's it. It's that simple. Number 9, the goal is to get an appointment before noon. I think I've said that about 4 times. Number 10, leverage the 80%. In order to get to a place where you're selling this many homes, you're going to have to find leverage for the 80% activities. Now, what are the 80% activities? Everything but lead generation, going on appointments with buyers and sellers, taking seller listings, negotiating contracts, practicing and role playing your scripts. That's it. So if I didn't mention it, it's not part of your 20%, which means you should be looking for the right who's. It's who, not what. The right who's in order to take the 80% activities away from you so that you can spend more of your time in lead generation to get that 1 appointment every day and going on listing appointments to take seller listings. Okay, that's it. Raise your hands, guys. Talk to me. Questions, comments, thoughts. Let's go. Cole Harvey, I love it when you raise your hand.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I got it written down. I'm going to underline it right now. Have to keep quacking until fed, right? Just keep going. We just got to keep quacking and do it when we don't want to, because that duck is always going to be hungry.
That's right. Ducks don't have bad days, guys. They don't. They just get up and quack until somebody feeds them. Talk to me, Wendy.
Good morning. So great, great, wonderful, as always. So you're telling me I have to be on the phone to make $1 million from 9 to 12, and that's the priority.
Really 8 to 12, but we'll go with.
Oh, I mean 8 to 12. See, mindset.
Okay. That's it.
Yes?
It's that simple.
4 hours.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
4
it.
hours.
Just Call, dial, talk until somebody says, yes, I want to meet with you. It's just that simple. Talk to me, Shannon.
If you were to rank anyone in this group and you were going to pay them a salary based on overthinking, I would make the most money of anyone in this group. I know that. And so it is something I am trying to break. And coming from the corporate world, I had a CRM team, I had a pricing team, I had a marketing team. Coming into real estate as an independent, holy crap. Like the stuff that we have to do, I cannot wait till I get to that point where I am delegating out, because I will, because all I need to be doing is making the calls right now. So thank you for correcting me and redirecting me.
There you go, girl. Take trying and hopefully out of everything you just said. And it was awesome. Leary, talk to me.
Hi, how you doing, man? I got a little bit more of a micro observation with something you said that really make a lot of sense in terms of, this is how I put it, leading the witness. When you're talking to prospect, do not give them stuff in the negative to respond to. I think that was a very good observation. Don't lead the witness. You're putting things in their head. I love that.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for bringing that up. You're 100% right. I'll give you one more bonus and that'll be a wrap. Expect objections when you're talking to people. Okay. Now understand there is a difference between an objection and a condition. A condition means no matter what you say, they're not changing their mind. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make new decisions based on new information. A condition means they're not going to make a new decision. Now, I'm going to relist my house with my previous agent is not a condition. It is an objection. You are rarely going to hear anything from a seller that is a condition. Most of the time, it's going to be an objection. Expect objections. Then when you hear them, you're not going to be thrown off. You're actually going to look forward to them. You've practiced, drilled, rehearsed 3 responses to every objection you've ever heard. So when you hear that objection, boom, you know exactly what to say in order to overcome that objection and close for an appointment. All right, that's a wrap. Make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Always.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hundreds of agents have leveled up their systems and listings with Coach John's coaching. Your turn starts here. Scan the QR code to schedule your session.
And don't forget to subscribe and share this with someone who's serious about building long-term wealth in real estate.